Time Warner Cable Sports presents high school football. It's a Cleveland County grudge match as the Shelby Golden Lions visit the Crest Chargers. Warm greetings, everybody, from Boiling Springs, Sid Bryson Stadium. It's dedication day here at Crest High School as the Chargers take on the Golden Lions. Ryan Rose with Woody Kane. This is a matchup of two teams that made their respective classification state championship games last year, so we expect big things out of these two teams. But that was last year. This is this year, the 2005 season. Woody, let's talk first about the Shelby Golden Lions. They return a lot of guys on offense. Daryl Montgomery led this team to a state title as a sophomore quarterback. But in the backfield, they're going to rely a lot on Arsenio Parks. He's already done a lot of work this year.
Yeah, 233-pound fullback. The fullback makes Shelby go, and Parks is off to a great start. Already 313 yards and 5 touchdowns in the first 2 games. But don't forget about Tavares Jolly. He had an 84-yard kick return a week ago and is already signed to go to North Carolina.
And he played a very good game last year against these same Chargers. Now for the homestanding Chargers, who, by the way, the road team has won the last 3 in this series, so the Chargers have a lot of work to do. And when you think about the fact that they don't return but just one guy on offense from last year's starting unit, their work is cut out for him. Defensively, though, a totally different story, and Brandon Spikes is a guy we're going to call out a lot tonight.
Yeah, he is nasty, to put it mildly. He's 6'4", about 230. He's trimmed down from about 255. No less than 30 Division I schools are recruiting him to try and get him to come there. He is special to watch and will be all over the field tonight. But, Ryan, you mentioned the home field advantage the last 3 times. Actually, since 1990, the home team has only won 3 times. So on the road is the place to be, evidently, in this series.
Well, these two schools are only about 5 miles apart, so on the road is really definitely a relative thing when you talk about these two schools. Let's tee this one up and kick it off. We're ready for football here at Sid Bryson Stadium. They're dedicating the park today. We'll get a look at a fancy new scoreboard and 2 great teams ready for action. We'll have it to you in just a moment. Stay with us.
Music downloads, also local updates. There's your video mail, online shopping, and the extra security you get with Roadrunner and AOL. That's sports scores passing to your right, weather reports this way, and everything's moving faster than fast at the speed of Roadrunner. Any questions? Okay, let's keep moving. More to do, more to see. There's our movie downloads and stock updates.
Roadrunner high-speed online.
Call 1-800-ROADRUNNER and get your first 6 months at $29.95 per month plus free installation.
Roadrunner high-speed online from Time Warner Cable.
Welcome back to Sid Bryson Stadium. More pregame festivities as we close in on the kickoff of Shelby and Crest. And before we get things started, we want to take a visit with the coaching staffs of both these two teams. And we'll start with the road team, Shelby. The road team traveling all of 5 miles to get here, and Woody Kane had a chance to speak with Chris Norman a few moments ago.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Well, Coach Norman, this game, the biggest rivalry game in this area. Can you put into words what this means to these two teams?
Well, it's Shelby Crest, and that's all you need to say. It's a heated rivalry, and it's almost like a civil war, actually, because you got brothers and sisters and family on both sides of the stadium. So it's it's an exciting time for both of us, and this has always been a good game.
A tough opening loss in week 1 in overtime, but you bounced back last week, and it looks like you guys haven't had much problem putting points on the board.
Well, we're still a very young offensive team, and our young guys up front are starting to grow a little bit, and it's going to take us some time, but I'm pleased with the efforts that the kids have been given.
One guy who's really been getting it done for you, Arsenio Parks, your fullback. He's got 5 touchdowns already, over 300 yards. Tell the fans who may not be familiar with him a little about him.
Well, Arsenio is a junior running back. He was with us last year as a sophomore, saw some limited time behind a senior fullback. Came in and done a good job in the offseason, getting stronger and adding a little bit of weight, and is just all-around good athlete and does an outstanding job for us.
Couple of keys for your team in terms of tonight's game. What do you got to get done tonight other than outscoring Crest?
Well, they're so good defensively. It's going to be a real challenge for our young guys up front. We got some kids that are learning and growing, and they're going to have a challenge to try to block their front. I think that, along with the kick game, has always been a big part of this game.
Okay, Coach. Thanks for your time and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, Ryan. That's what they think at Shelby.
Okay, thanks, Woody. And of course, with Stadium Dedication Day, that puts a little onus on the coaching staff, probably of Crest, to really get things done. Both teams come in at 1-1, both teams losing to Freedom. And we're ready to visit with the head coach of the Crest Chargers, that being Roy Kirby.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Well, Coach Kirby, first up, you're dedicating your stadium tonight to Sid Bryson. Can you tell us what he means to this community?
Sid Bryson is Crest High football. He coached me. I was fortunate enough to coach with him. He taught me. I played for him in football here in the 70s, and he's a wonderful man, just a role model that we could all try to be like, and we couldn't have done anything better than name this stadium after him.
About tonight's game, Coach, you had to replace a couple of 1,000-yard rushers from your backfield last year. Your defense has a lot of returning players, but how has that worked out for you? I saw last week you had several penalties, several turnovers. What's practice been like this week?
Well, I told him Monday we were going to forget that game. It was a non-conference game, and we needed to move on. We made a lot of mental mistakes and had penalties. I thought our defense and special teams played pretty well, so we've tried to get better and move a few people around, still trying to get the chemistry going on offense, but we'll get there sometime this year.
And the one guy that everybody always talks about with Crest is Brandon Spikes. For folks who aren't familiar with him, can you describe him?
Great player, fine young man. I'm very fortunate to be able to coach him.
And now, Coach, as we get close to game time here and you get ready to go, we understand with all the devastation going down in Louisiana, you guys have added a kid this week from New Orleans. Can you tell us about him?
Devin Fitzmaurice came in, I think he moved up here Monday night, and one of the local churches took him in, and he's a senior. His school is underwater down there, and came over here. He said, I just want to be a scout team player, whatever. Found out that he was captain of his defensive team down there, and so we've moved him to tight end, and he came out and I've only been around him 3 or 4 days, but he's been a joy to be around. Our guys have already accepted him, and we're excited. He might be a starter for us down the road.
That's great. Thanks for your time, Coach, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, Ryan, that's what they think at Crest. Back to you.
Like Crest needs any help whatsoever. The rich get richer. They probably could use a little help on offense, and we hope that we see the young man tonight. One of the stories we'll be following throughout this contest. We are closing in on kickoff. Let's tee this one up. We'll give you starting lineups and get this game underway when we come back.
There are heroes.
My dad fixed things for everyone.
Whose names we never hear, reaching out to help their fellow man.
And me? Well, I just held the light.
If you see what's wrong and you try to make it right,
He was teaching me more than just how to fix things.
a point of light.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Shelby won the toss and deferred to the second half, so Crest will take the football to start this ball game. Last year there were 8 first-half touchdowns and a field goal and a wild one that I'm sure Woody you remember quite well.
Yeah, I'm still out of breath from that one. That was a track meet.
Playoff atmosphere here at Sid Bryson Stadium, and why not? These two teams were a combined 28-3 last year, both teams making, as we mentioned before, their respective state championship games. Crest winning the 3AA title, which they will not be allowed to defend. Now they're a 4A school, and the kickoff forthcoming from Shelby's Tyler Rabb, and it is taken back at the 10-yard line by the Chargers. And here's Bruce Smith. He's in open field and finally laid out by the kicker, Rabb, over at the 38-yard line. And so Woody now has the Crest offense.
Well, Giles is an all-conference guard. He's the only returnee on that line. Goins, 299 pounds. Williams, 330 pounds. Jordan Robinson, the quarterback, 210 yards, but 3 interceptions so far. The receivers, both juniors, 6 catches between them there as they get set to go on offense for the first time.
The Chargers had 18 turnovers all of last year. They already have 7 in just 2 games in 2004. The first play, a quick out to the left side, and a catch is made by Mario Washington. And let's take a look at the defense that has its work cut out for it to try to force the turnovers tonight.
3-man front for Shelby. Ross, a 4-year starter. He's only 295 pounds. Carpenter will go both ways. Deshaun Key, the linebacker there, a transfer from Crest, if you can believe that. Brooks, a sophomore, Full-Love, a returning starter. The defensive backfields, Williams and Thompson there, are both sophomores.
He probably could bike between the house he used to live in and where he lives now. On second down, a run play, and it'll be a first down. Give it to Tosh Toms over the left side. Crest likes the left side, and a first down for Toms as he gets it into Golden Lions territory at the 48-yard line.
Well, this is what Crest wants to do. They had 2,000-yard rushers a year ago. Hammer away, get a little passing game going just to keep the defense honest. They have needed some more balance, and last week they had tough going against Freedom. Both these teams have.
The snap and the handoff, another one again to Toms, and he'll get a nice burst up to the 41-yard line, give him 7 yards. Howard Thompson on the stop for the Golden Lions, and you don't really want to give the Crest offense a lot of confidence this early.
No, they have 3 running backs that they'll use a lot tonight. As Toms, as a matter of fact, he hasn't had too many carries all season long. He's not nearly the leading rusher, but they have guys who will attack the middle, get around the corner with speed, and they will mix it up all night long. And Tom's not very big.
Little guy, Robinson from the shotgun again with Toms in his backfield, and they'll give it to him again. Left side, flies out of a tackle there. Flag on the play. Toms will be short of a first down, but a flag in the backfield. The tackle by Doug Scott, and this one will probably come back. It is holding. We're getting a whole lot of the back of the referee's head tonight as we are located on the far side, the visitors' side, because of the capacity crowd. I think I saw a couple guys with a crowbar trying to wedge in the last few people in the stadium. Call the fire marshal. We're standing room only.
Over on the press box on the home side, there are people literally sitting on the shingles. You can see it there in the middle of your picture up top. If they get to sliding, they're going to land in the crowd.
Well, they'll be safe. A lot of people to break their fall up there. So the hold penalty moves it back to the Crest 47-yard line. Second down and a country mile as Toms is wrapped up and tackled quickly. I believe Corey Brooks, the linebacker, was there. Deshad Key, one of the other linebackers there on the play.
And interesting, Randy, listen to me.
I'll have to get used to that, huh?
How about Deshad Key, number 22 there? Last year, he wore the Crest green. Now, it's one thing to transfer to another school. It's something else entirely to go to your arch rival.
Well, maybe he's the key for Shelby to win this one on the road, and if that's the case, then he'll be the good luck charm for both teams. Robinson will drop back to pass. Flushed out of the pocket, rolling right downfield. The pass is complete to Mario Washington for a first down. What a play. 2 passes, 2 catches, and Mario Washington has both of them.
Michael McLam, number 65, watch him come right up the middle here and cause all kinds of problems. They pick him up and give him time to get the ball downfield. Robinson with a nice strike because there were 2 defenders between himself and Washington, and he put it right on the money.
Robinson just 22 pass attempts coming into this ball game on the season. He's thrown 2 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 3 to the other team. But a first down here as he's completed 2 out of 2 today. And the Chargers rolling on the Crest 35-yard line. Rather, the Shelby 35-yard line. Another handoff up the middle. It's Toms diving in and out, and there's the advantage of being so small. It's hard to find him when he gets through.
He showed you some strength there, too. He's only 5'4", 150 pounds, but you'll see Doug Scott, the linebacker, number 30, grab him, and Toms just runs right through the tackle.
It's a guy that did not carry the football last week against Freedom. 2 carries, 8 yards on the season. Now finds himself as the feature back, and to date, the biggest game of the year for the Chargers. Another first down and 10 play for Crest at the Shelby 24-yard line. Toms again, feed the beast, but only a short gain this time as making the tackle on the play. Rufus Full-Love, listed as a halfback and linebacker. He played in this game last year, had quite a few tackles, and makes the stop there.
Just right down the line of scrimmage, got to Toms before he could get a head of steam up going down the field. But one thing, Ryan, that Crest has always had, tremendous size on that offensive line, and this year no exception. I mean, they go 285, 295, 330 pounds. I mean, they are large up front.
You got some furniture to move. That's the crew to call in this county. Toms will bounce to the outside on the sweep play, and he'll be met and dropped at about the 17-yard line.
That looked like sumo wrestling.
Nice stop on the play. Looked like Tavoris Jolly made the stop there. Playing a little both ways action.
Watch it here. Look at big old 78 there. Josh Beam pulling, but wrestling him down at the end of the play. The first guy there, you're right, was Tavoris Jolly, who is a fine offensive player, as we mentioned in the open, already signed to go to North Carolina.
The ball sits at the Shelby 17, 3rd down and 3. As now in the backfield, Brandon Miller. And they'll go to Miller, and he will get nowhere. Quick stop, nice tackle by Michael McLam, the defensive tackle, on the play, and now Crest has decisions to make here on 4th down and short.
And looks like they're going to...
Well, the quarterback's coming back in.
Yeah, I was going to say, he started to leave, but here he comes back.
So we're 4th down and 2 situation. And rather than try any sort of field goal with Heaton or Doug Lowry, rather, they'll go ahead and go for it. 4th down and 2 yards to go. Is it too early to have a big play like this? Powerhouse backfield, sliding to his left, and this is going to depend on the spot. Carrying the football there was Chavis Poole.
And they had heavy jumbo in their blocking for him. They brought Brandon Spikes in to be one of the blockers. Looked like also Evan Bostic, who's normally a defensive lineman, to block. That's close.
They're going to measure it.
Crest thinks they have it. Shelby thinks they don't. What a shocker.
And they do. The tail of the football got to the line to gain, so we'll have another 1st down for Shelby. So mark down a 1-for-1 on for Crest rather. Mark down a 1 out of 1 and 4th down conversions. They can still get a 1st down without a touchdown. Ball sitting just shy of the 14-yard line. Same backfield in there for Crest, and they'll bounce it to the outside. Chavis Poole again on the carry, and there's Deshad Key to make the stop for the Golden Lions.
Among others. There were a host of Golden Lions in on that tackle, but the heavy jumbo package working pretty well for the Chargers so far. Now they're making wholesale substitutions, and they have not been shy so far, Ryan, about substituting on that line either. They had some injuries in the preseason and shuffled some guys around. It took them a little while to get things gelled, and that, in one respect, helped them because they've got good, solid people used to playing at a number of positions.
Tosh Toms now in the backfield to single back, and Robinson has to call timeout. And we'll step aside as Crest regroups to get ready for a potential score on the game's opening drive. The ball sits at the 10-yard line with a 2nd down and long coming up.
Sports Night. From the boys of summer to NASCAR's Blacktop Warriors. Get it all. Live every night at 10 on News 14 Carolina. Sports Night. From the hit and run to the pitch and run. It's all good. A full half hour of sports. Only Time Warner Cable has News 14 Carolina. And only News 14 Carolina has Sports Night.
Relax and let your thoughts drift away in a Stressless, the ultimate recliner. Designed to support you perfectly in any position. Relax your body, free your mind in a Stressless.
Come, experience Stressless at Inbo Furniture in Cornelius.
No score, opening drive of the ball game. Tosh Tom, 6 carries, 32 yards here. As Robinson tries to draw them off sides, they'll pitch back to Toms. He'll drive it up the middle and get maybe a yard as a host of Golden Lions were there. Deshad Key, once again, one of the primary tacklers on the play.
Well, this is exactly what Coach Kirby likes to do. Just hammer away at you, keep that ball. You can't be beat if they don't have it, is pretty much his theory. And
that's very Crest.
It worked to perfection for him last year, all the way to a state title, and they've been very successful. They won 27 of their last 29 at Crest, Ryan.
And they like to load up the preseason with a pretty tough schedule. This is no exception, playing a team that made the state championships last year. Robinson to the air, overthrows his intended receiver. A lot of people want flags, and there comes a flag late, looking for Bruce Smith. Preston Roseboro, who will play both ways, was in the vicinity causing problems. And it will be a pass interference against the Golden Lions, which will give Crest an automatic first down and put the ball down around the 4-yard line.
And there was contact before the ball arrived. Roseboro was the man there. I don't know that it would have been completed anyway. It was high and had an awful lot of mustard on it, but the contact is key.
They'll put the ball down right at the 3-yard line. And a first down and goal for the Chargers. An opening drive that has chewed up the majority of the clock. We have just 5:17 left in the first quarter of play here. Power rushing formation, bouncing around to the left side. Can he get in? It's Chavis Poole, and he does, and Crest is on the board.
Tavares Jolly got there, but a little too late, and Poole slow to get up, Ryan. He may have an injury.
Holding his knee. One of those where you hope he just banged it against someone's leg and he'll just be sore for a little while. Poole down on the ground. They listed as a defensive linebacker, so
a starting linebacker.
Yeah, he likely won't be out there for this upcoming defensive series. And on a defense that returned a lot of guys and has played, they made Freedom punt 8 times last week.
But isn't it interesting that Freedom beat both these teams and beat both of them in overtime?
Indeed. We'll step aside for the injury timeout. When we come back, point after touchdown, and then we'll get Shelby the ball and see what can happen here early on.
North Carolina has some of the most beautiful waterways in the world, and North Carolina Big Sweep keeps our waterways clean through its statewide cleanup effort. To support NC Big Sweep, volunteer in your county to pick up litter on Saturday, October the 1st, or consider donating your used car, boat, or RV as a tax-deductible gift. For more details, call 1-800-27-SWEEP or visit their website.
Drew Mason, the head trainer of the Crest Chargers. Coach Kirby hopes we never have to use his name, but we just did, and they also hope that Chavis Poole didn't have to pay the ultimate price for scoring the touchdown, the first one of the game. 5:10 left in the first quarter, so that drive took nearly 7 minutes. 13 plays, 62 yards, and the extra point now coming from Doug Lowry, who is one of the few returning offensive weapons, if you could count that. 60 extra points and 3 field goals last season. His kick is up and good as we take a look at the score that put this game at a 7-0 pace.
And you'll watch him going to the left, and you'll see 44, Jolly, coming in to make an attempt at the tackle, but not before Poole gets across the goal line right there. Boy, and the ball almost came out, huh?
The replay does not lie. And it happened so fast, and now Crest is on top 7-0, giving that mammoth conflagration reason to cheer. I mean, it is literally shoulder to shoulder in this place.
And they're sitting all the way around the banks on both sides. People are still
on rooftops over there.
Yeah, people are still paying money to get in on the visitor side here.
13 plays, 62 yards. It took 6 minutes, 50 seconds. Robinson was 2-2 on the drive for 24 yards, so I don't know what's wrong with the Crest offense. Everything looks fine to me.
Yeah, well, Tosh Toms with 7 carries for 35 yards. It's hard to argue with that.
It looks like a well-oiled machine. Now we'll get a chance to see Shelby take the football, and this is the more experienced of the two offenses.
But so is the Crest defense.
Correct. This is where we think the most intriguing parts of the ball game may be containing. Kick goes deep, taken at the 5-yard line. Looks like running up to the right side and tripped up, but still trying to get some more yardage out to the 20-yard line. Excellent job by the Crest, by the Shelby return team as we take a look at their offense.
Well, Carpenter is 275. He's the biggest and the only returning full-time starter there. Burnett is a sophomore. Then you look at the backfield, Jolly already signed to go to North Carolina. Parks, as we mentioned, over 300 yards, and he already has 5 touchdowns in 2 games. Odom, a returning starter, already 7 catches for 70 yards. Little, a returning starter as well.
Daryl Montgomery led this team as a sophomore to the state championship game. Threw for 2 touchdowns in the state title game last fall against Southwest Onslow in the 2A finals in a losing effort.
Whoops.
They had a tough start in that ball game, turned it over a few times, and it looks like their offense has a tough start to begin with. Actually, it's the defense lining up offsides. So 5 free yards for Shelby, and they haven't done anything to earn it yet.
Good thing we talked about how experienced the Crest defense is, huh?
Well, you think they're excited to get a shot at Montgomery, who they probably have to read about in the papers every week, being one of the best quarterbacks in the Cleveland County area. I'm sure the Crest Charger defense really wants to light him up a few times and get seated in their pads early on. First down and 5. And a lot of misdirection. The first guy to handle the ball tonight is going to be Tavares Jolly, who one of the guys we mentioned as we take a look at all that experience on defense for Crest.
Well, a 5-man front on that defensive line for Crest. Peterson, a returning starter, he's also the biggest at 285 pounds. Then we look at the linebacking core. Spikes, one of the top 10 linebackers in the nation. As we mentioned, some 30 schools are after him to come play for them. The defensive backfield, all seniors with the exception of Cobb, who is a sophomore.
Make no bones about it, these guys are very good. Offensively, Crest has graduated a lot of good players recently as well. Now from the I formation, handoff left side and a big hole for Arsenio Parks. You get a little taste of how he's garnered his 300-plus yards this season. Jeffrey Thompson, the D-back on the stop, and when your corners and safeties are making hits, you're probably moving the chains.
Yeah, and he's not Parks I'm talking about. Is not just a grinded out 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of fullback. He had 2 long touchdown runs a week ago, and he's already caught a touchdown pass this year, so he's very versatile.
Shelby on a first down play. Give it around the right side to Jolly. Stood up and stuffed.
Oh.
Skip Allen, Dwayne Maddox, both in on the stop for the Chargers.
Well, somebody had to lose a tooth or something in that. I mean, they were just slamming each other. Oh, here comes a flag now, late. A little bit of talking.
Unsportsmanlike, and this will give 15 more yards to the Golden Lions. And Shelby doesn't really need the help, and the Chargers don't. The Chargers don't need the grief.
And
they'll try to line it up and go here from the Charger 44-yard line. Like a little wing tee here. Parks is the fullback, but they'll pop it around again. Feed the beast, and Jolly gets it across the 40 to the 39-yard line. Already, Michael Edwards making a stop. Already, guys getting upset. Tempers have flared a little bit. The juice is flowing as these two rivals go at it.
Hey, these are arch rivals now. They want to get after each other. You mentioned playoff atmosphere, and it's always like that when these two hook up.
Second down and 5 from the 39-yard line. Wing T formation. We'll run it to the left side, and wrangled in the backfield, taking down the runner is Sean Tate. As Preston Roseboro tried to do something with it to the left side, and the wing T is supposed to cause confusion, but nobody told Sean Tate that. He was right there to make the stop.
A 245-pound senior just breaks right through, and Roseboro at only 166 pounds. Well, you do the math.
A loss of 5 will make it third down and 10. Roseboro lines up at the right halfback, Jolly at the left halfback. And Montgomery will pass. Deep down the field, it's caught. Tavares Jolly, and he has a touchdown. Lull him to sleep and then throw it over the defense.
How about that? Everything forming up to that side. They have run. And Jolly who has exceptional skills on the offensive side, was not even looked at. He was 10 yards away from the nearest Crest defender.
How can you forget about the guy that has carried the mail for the most part on that drive? And Montgomery, as we know from covering this series last year and then the state playoffs, is a passing quarterback when given the opportunity. Extra point try is up, and it is good by Tyler Rabb. So we have expired nearly the entire first quarter. We're no closer to knowing who's winning than we were when we started. It's all knotted up at 7.
Time Warner Cable, the premier provider of home entertainment and information, has a bright future for the right type of salesperson. We're currently accepting applications for the position of direct sales representative to sell and explain our highly attractive products. Previous sales or telemarketing experience is highly desired. Time Warner Cable offers a base salary plus commission pay structure, excellent benefits package, and complimentary cable to people living in our service area. Apply online today at www.twcarolina.com.
Go anywhere. Do anything. The power is yours. Cordless power. But be cool with your cordless power. If you've got old rechargeable batteries hanging around, take them in to be recycled. It's easy and it's good for the environment. Check us out online or give us a call at 1-800-8-BATTERY to learn more.
One drive for each team. Both quarterbacks are perfect. Jolly scores on a 44-yard touchdown reception. Poole scores on a 4-yard touchdown run, and we're all tied up at 7 as Crest takes the next kickoff back from around the 13-yard line. Bruce Smith, and he is tackled just past the 20, around the 23-yard line. So Crest will start drive number 2 from right there. The Golden Lions went 80 yards in 6 plays. 20 of those yards thanks to penalties on the Crest defense, and only took 3 minutes, 5 seconds off the clock.
And I'm like you, Ryan. I don't understand how you can forget about Tavares Jolly. Somebody missed an assignment there because nobody was in his vicinity.
Has not had a receiving touchdown. Actually hasn't had a catch all year. Flags fly, a free play here. It's intercepted. We'll see what happens. Picked off by the Golden Lions, number 40, Mark Williams, the strong safety. And if this play counts, what a mistake.
I think Crest left early. It looked like they had trips to the bottom, and all 3 left early. Let's see.
Illegal shift. This will count. It's declined. So the 4th interception this season for young Jordan Robinson in his 3rd game starting at quarterback for the Chargers.
And he had pinpoint accuracy up till now. He'd only attempted 2 passes, but one of them, remember, he threaded the needle between 2 guys to get it there. Here, he got hit right as he let that go.
He got racked by Lamont Carpenter, the defensive tackle, number 60.
He was looking for Arthie Phillips, but had to throw it from the arms of one of the Golden Lions.
Wing T set up for Shelby. Right up the middle, they give it to the fullback, and a lot of extra activity at the end of that play.
Well, he got twisted like a pretzel on that one.
Parks, good thing he stretched out before the game.
I don't know how these kids do it. There's Coach Kirby.
Gain of about a yard on the play. Ball's at the 25-yard line, and Shelby wants to capitalize on the Crest turnover. 80 seconds left in the first quarter. As Montgomery lines up, hands off again on the pitch now to the left side. It's Roseboro. And the ball pops out, but it'll go out of bounds, and Shelby will hold on to it. Josh McDowell gave him the business over there.
Jarred it loose. It went straight up into the air and almost gave it right back. Fortunately for the Lions, the Golden Lions, it goes out of bounds, but turnover is a problem for Crest a week ago in that loss to Freedom. 5 turnovers, including 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions. And penalties a problem as well, as we've seen here early on. Coach Kirby said in the pregame interview, we told the guys just to forget that game. It's over with, but They still have some of the same issues so far. Now an equipment problem.
Montgomery trying to help out the head official by waving his arm so they can fix a helmet here. He's trying to figure out how to get this thing back on so we can get to playing. 7-7 your score. Shelby and Crest all tied up.
So I figured I'd watch the game, but my wife wanted to watch chick flicks.
Time to watch one show while you record another.
So we watched chick flicks.
Time to call and upgrade to digital cable with the DVR from Time Warner Cable. Watch what you want, whenever you want.
Now with our DVR, I never miss a game. Or my wife's chick flicks.
Change the way you watch TV with a DVR from Time Warner Cable. Call now for a special offer. Time Warner Cable. Now, anything's possible.
3rd down and 4 play following the turnover for the Golden Lions. On the road, handoff. It looks like the play got started slowly. Skipping around to the outside, heading for the end zone, and a touchdown for Arsenio Parks.
But Ryan, what a great block by the right guard, Lamont Carpenter, 275 pounds of him. He was throwing people out of the way. He's going both ways tonight, and he made an exceptional block there on the right side.
Parks' 5th rushing touchdown of the season. Tyler Rabb on to consummate the touchdown with an extra point. The kick is up and good. And the Golden Lions, the script holding true to form, the road team on top, 14-7, final minute of the first period.
Losing your eyesight doesn't have to be a part of aging, thanks to a national program that offers no-cost eye care services to qualified seniors. Eye Care America's Seniors Eye Care program helps ensure access to medical eye care for senior citizens. To find out if you or someone you know qualifies, call 1-800-222-EYES. That's 1-800-222-3937 anytime.
Get a load of this place. Sid Bryson Stadium, dedicating it today, a shiny scoreboard.
And that you saw the black screen there. They play video games on that at halftime.
Yeah. Kickoff coming from Rabb. He'll boot it down to the Crest 8-yard line, and returning it is Mario Washington. Skips out of that tackle, bounces to the outside, looking for a seam. He won't get one. He'll get out to the 24, 25-yard line. What a big play and a lot of blocking on this one.
Watch, there's number 60 we were just talking about, Carpenter. I mean, he is just hurling bodies out of the way, and Mr. Parks is getting well acquainted with the end zone so far this year.
Staying on his feet for the 20-yard scamper, and Shelby now has a 1-touchdown lead over the homestanding Chargers of Crest, who we'd have to go into the Wayback Machine to find out the last time they lost 2 in a row. Handoff up the middle. A quick hitter taken down quickly is, I think that's the new guy, isn't it? 25, Drew Fitzsimmons.
I think it was 26, actually.
They give it to Phillips.
Looked that way, but I'm not too sure. I got lost in the shuffle. Key on the stop in the middle, but about a 2 or 3 yard gain for the Golden Lions that time.
2nd down and 8 now, just over the 25-yard line. Handoff again. Here's Toms, and he's swallowed up at the 25. Not much there.
Well, the Crest offensive line controlled things on that first drive, Ryan, but they have had trouble since then. Shelby has risen to the occasion defensively and is getting into the backfield with regularity.
Michael McLam and Deshad Key on the stop, and the clock tells us that we are finished with quarter number 1. Crest offense looking slightly anemic now on drive number 3, and they trail by a touchdown.
I like things simple. My friends told me it's easy to order a hit movie without leaving home.
Time to tune in now for Movies on Demand from Time Warner Cable.
There's all these movie choices.
Time to use the arrow keys and choose a movie. Then press B to buy. Movies on Demand.
Watching a movie, it's that simple.
Tune in now for Movies on Demand. Time Warner Cable. Now anything's possible.
Welcome back. We start the second quarter of play from Sid Bryson Stadium. Shelby on top of Crest 14-7. 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the first quarter of this game last year, and we've beat that point spread so far in this ball game. And a third down and long situation. Robinson to the air, nearly picked off again. This time Corey Brooks got his hands on it. Couldn't wrangle it down, but nonetheless, the Chargers will have to punt.
A little too much coverage to throw it into. They had him fronted and backed right there. Well covered was Phillips. And not much of an opportunity for him to do anything with that.
Bracket coverage, as it were. Yeah, he had a parenthesis on either side of him.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't think he had gotten past the markers at any rate.
And now coming on to punt for the Chargers will be Josh Patton, number 89. And you've got Montgomery, the quarterback. Why is the quarterback returning kicks? Free shot at him if you can get there.
And Crest is calling timeout. They were a little disorganized.
Maybe they're going to tell him that the quarterback is the guy returning the punt. Big games next week on Time Warner Cable Sports. Woody and Randy back in the saddle again at the Memorial Stadium as Robinson visits Kannapolis. Next week for these two teams, Crest will host another county team, Kings Mountain, and Shelby will host Lincolnton. And we'll be out at, hi everybody.
We got plenty of room up here,
Yeah.
and if somebody breathes, about 4 people are going to fall off top of this thing.
We'll be at Piedmont at Monroe next week. Another in-county rivalry game, so these non-conference weeks are fun when you get 2 close schools that play in different conferences to do battle like we have here today.
And now the officials have tried to stop play again. They were trying to get the Shelby people to move back, and they went ahead and snapped the ball.
The punter gets a free practice kick. Are they actually saying sideline warning or just trying to get him back there?
I think they were just trying to move him back, but he waved his arms and blew the play dead before it was snapped, so they'll do it over.
So now we're ready, and Patton will kick it again.
Maybe you just think we're ready.
6-foot junior. Gets away a boot. This one not as good as the practice one. Montgomery calls for the fair catch. It gets bumped into. And you got to throw a flag. You have to give him a 1.5 yard cushion. And the penalty will be I think this is one of those wordy ones. Failure to provide the opportunity for a fair catch or some legalese like that.
And the Chargers had no idea the ball was there. It was a short kick, and they were staying away from Montgomery, but he had to run up so far to get it. They all got knotted up.
Kick catching interference will be the call. So a 5 yard, was it 5 or 10 yard penalty? I don't remember that one.
It looks like they've given him 15, doesn't it?
Ooh. Well, once again, a Crest miscue gives Shelby great starting field position, this time at the 30. And more miscues as guys are just going at it at the right end of the offensive line. Now it looks like Shelby's going to move back 5 on the false start.
Well, this thing had a pretty good pace to start. Now it's fits and starts here. Last week, penalties were a problem for Crest. 12 penalties for 89 yards a week ago. They've already got 4 for 46 tonight.
So 1st and 15, but they still have great starting field position. Split backs with Parks and Jolly. Jolly right side, slicing forward, makes that guy miss. Still on his feet, down across the 20, dragging defenders down to the 16-yard line. Josh McDowell finally made the stop. but we can point to 3 or 4 green jerseys that had a chance and failed to bring down the big guy.
And he runs away from Brandon Spikes in the beginning. Watch 33 right there. That's one of the best linebackers in the country. Jolly just runs away from him, runs through a tackle there, and then drags another defender, McDowell, down the field. Wow.
Jolly messing with the helmet of Arsenio Parks. Not only can he score touchdowns, but
a pretty good equipment guy,
he's
too.
Equipment manager on the side.
Well, they still can't get it straightened out.
All this newfangled equipment, and you can't get the buckles to work on the chin straps.
And it was Parks the previous time, wasn't it, who had the trouble with the helmet?
Maybe they switched helmets. Coach Norman barking instructions from the side.
And, you know, all coaches don't want to sound too boastful in the beginning of the year and in the spring practices. Coach Norman was talking to the Shelby Star, I believe it was, and said we're not as big and not as fast as we were a year ago, but you wouldn't know it from what's gone on here tonight.
They are as experienced, especially with the skill position guys, and that means a lot. Montgomery from the shotgun with split backs. Jolly again, right side, slicing through. An ankle tackle keeps him from the end zone as Tim Cobb grabbed his shoe tops.
Oh, yeah, a fine block that time by Mitch Bridges, Ryan. The left guard pulled to the right side and dove into the gap and just eliminated somebody.
Trying to get the play in from the side. They're actually going to wait for the chain crew to come measure this for us. And I don't care how good. Oh, just short.
No, I think, let's see. He got it.
I think he wiggled the nose of the ball to touch the stick so they could give a first down signal, but I don't care how good your defense is for Crest. If you keep giving Shelby the short field, they're going to score. And you can be a stout defense, but when you only have 25 yards to defend, that just makes it tough. The offense putting them in these positions.
Yep.
And that's what happened in their loss at Freedom.
And the game we did a week ago, we saw the same thing. Robinson turns the ball over 6 times. You just can't win if you give the offense too many chances. Boy, it looked like the Chargers jumped that time, Ryan. I think Teron Brooks, the defensive end, came across early, number 42.
He did. And they'll give half the distance.
There he is. Whoops.
So the stick will go down inside the 5-yard line. Put it on the 3, and they'll have a first and goal.
5 penalties for almost 50 yards so far for the Chargers, and we've got, 10 minutes to go in the first half.
Couple that with an interception and a 19-yard punt, and Shelby has not had a lot of ground to have to cover. Only 115 yards of offense, and they only need 3 more to have 3 touchdowns early on in this game. Montgomery hands it off. Jolly, touchdown. So much misdirection, you don't know who to key on. He catches it through the air. He runs it on the ground.
Everybody went for the fake to the middle. Everybody. Jolly strolled into the end zone.
But be forewarned, Shelby fans. You had a 21-3 lead in this game last year before giving it up late. So don't think that Coach Norman and the staff at Shelby, don't think they haven't told these guys that you're going to have to put them away and not let them hang around. And if Crest can solve the turnover and the field position problems, we still may have a game on our hands yet. 9:52 left in the second quarter. It's 21-7.
Jeffrey passed the ball to Crest, who scored the goal.
It's good.
I saw this new skateboard, Dad. I think I'm going to get it with my birthday money.
Well, that'll be all right.
Hey, John, you know, if you had one of these new vinyl fences, you wouldn't have to paint it.
Yeah, but Bob, this gives Jimmy and I a chance to talk.
Oh.
When you really listen, love is what they'll hear.
But Dad, it's brand new.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
How about your new game? How do you get past level 2?
Level 2? Dad, we need to talk.
Introducing Wireless Roadrunner. Now everyone can use Roadrunner high-speed online at the same time, all around the house. New Wireless Roadrunner. No wires required.
(21-7), Shelby leading Crest here from Sid Bryson Stadium. Ryan Rose, Woody Kane, the entire Time Warner Sports production crew, we appreciate your patronage checking out some high school football wherever you may be. Another Shelby kickoff taken back by Washington again inside his own 10. He gets pushed back, but his forward progress will get him up to around the 26-yard line, and Mark Williams, one of the guys there to take him down.
Well, right here, Ryan, I think what needs to happen for Crest is they got to get back to that pounding running game. They have a distinct size advantage. They've got 300-pounders all across that offensive line. They controlled the line of scrimmage on that opening drive. Since they have tried to mix it more and go to the air more, they have gotten themselves away from what worked for them early. I know you have to keep the defense honest, but they have a distinct size advantage on that offensive front.
And if you let Shelby get another touchdown ahead of it, you'll be forced to throw. And this is Washington from the quarterback spot. He'll have a big opening, and he's tackled on the play by Shelby's Calvin Brown in the open field, but not before a gain of nearly 20 yards for Washington.
Now check him out here. Everybody has got to be thinking, what happened to Robinson? Well,
what happened to Robinson? He doesn't look like he's the option quarterback. Mario Washington may be.
Definitely Robinson, more of a traditional drop-back passer type quarterback. He's back in the game now.
So a first down and 10 for Crest on their own 43. Robinson under center. Tom's left side. Guys are breaking through that offensive line on the right side. A big stop there by Rufus Full-Love for Shelby, but not before a gain of, we'll call it 4 yards up to the 47-yard line.
I don't know how in the world Tom's got through there. It looked like they had him dead to rights at the line of scrimmage, and he made something out of it. As you mentioned, he's so small they might have trouble picking him up. Only 5'4", 150 pounds is the sophomore.
Robinson is now split out to the right as Washington is back in there at quarterback. And he'll pitch it, but Tom slips and falls, and this will go for a loss. And that was Washington just being a little bit hesitant.
And now some of the Golden Lions starting to get vocal at the Crest players. Remember, folks, don't go away. This may look like it's all Shelby right now, but this is almost identical to the way last year's game started, and that wound up being a 38-35 thriller.
Shelby jumped out to a 21-3 lead, only to watch Crest whittle it away and overtake them late in the game. And then Shelby had a fierce comeback, but came up short. 8:02 left in quarter number 2. Big third down play here for Crest. Robinson has to stand up in the pocket, and he'll be sacked. Pulled down, the flag comes out, probably holding in the backfield. Clip is what the call is against the Chargers. I can't imagine that Shelby would accept this penalty and give the Chargers a free down.
Well, some excellent penetration by the Golden Lions that time. Robinson saw something, started to take off, and one of his backs tried to help him out, and it just didn't work out.
So it will be 4th down and 9.
One thing the Chargers have accomplished, though, Ryan, is they've changed this field position thing around. 19-yard punts coupled with a 15-yard penalty, and interceptions don't help you too much.
They did move the ball 20 yards before they'll punt here, and Shelby will have to start from their own half of the field, perhaps. Jolly's back to receive, as is wideout Antonio Odom. Jolly lets it go. It takes a huge bounce, trickles, and will they get it at the 1-yard line? They're going to get it at the 1-yard line. What an effort.
Let's see what they spotted.
They're giving it at the 1.
Yep. Tom's made sure he went into the end zone and picked it up and marched it right back out there.
My goodness, what a play. You can't get much worse field position than your own 1.
And this will be an opportunity for the Crest defense, as we mentioned, the more experienced of the units here to assert themselves a little bit.
He can show off. Bobby Bowden, by the way, likes to call a play-action bomb in this situation backed up against your own one, but I bet you they don't do that against the Crest defense. This is a pin your ears back and find the football.
And Coach Norman out there to object. He's saying that it got into the end zone. Well, that was really close to getting in. You can't just touch it. You have to down it.
It has to stay out of the end zone, and the player touching it can't be in the end zone when he touches it. So our first real controversy in the ball game.
And you can see that Coach Norman not too thrilled about the call there, and the officials discussing it, but I don't think they're going to change it. He's not through.
Let's see if we can take a look at it. Watch this ball. Does the player ever get in the end zone? Oh, it's on the goal line. Wow.
And I don't think he stopped it. Of course, it trickled on in from there. First guy down for Crest looked like it was Jeffrey Thompson, the defensive back there, who dove on the ball.
You do have to control it, not just touch it.
Exactly, and I don't know, Ryan. I'm kind of thinking that Coach Norman might have a case on that one.
I think he has a valid point. It's not going to do him any good to review this tape on Monday or Tuesday, but
well, he'll get personal satisfaction
out there to defend his kids, of course. 21-7. Crest needed that break, however. Back on their own 1 yard line. Handoff. I think this goes to Parks, the fullback. He'll dive it across and get close to the 5. Okay, maybe the 3.
Like Brandon Peterson, all 285 pounds of him in on the stop, the nose guard there.
Ball looks like it might be on the 3 yard line, just barely, if that much. You could probably call this the 2 yard line. So Montgomery runs out the play. And if it's anything besides a run up the middle, it'll be surprising. Every offensive player is standing at or near the goal line. He will throw it. He's going to go downfield. Their pass is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Antonio Odom. And there was Josh McDowell in the vicinity on the defense.
Well, he was open for a little while too, Ryan. Threw a shoe going down the field. Ball kind of hung. Gave the defense a chance to recover.
3rd and 9. The ball sitting on the 2 yard line.
And if I remember correctly, the fireworks didn't really ignite until late in the second quarter, and then your eyeballs started hurting from going back and forth so much.
Yeah, there were 6 touchdowns in the second quarter of this game a year ago. 3rd down play, handoff right side. A guy loses his helmet.
It's Parks.
Parks carrying the football. Lost a helmet. All kind of sporting goods flying all over the place back there in the end zone.
And I think Parks might be saying, hey, they had to grab my face mask to get that thing off. But remember, he's had a couple of problems with
issues.
It. Yeah.
This might be the break that Crest needs, the impetus to get the momentum back and score some points, because Crest is going to have great field position. The kicker is standing just a hair inside of his own goal line.
In the danger zone.
The back of his end zone. Bad snap here is big trouble. Kick is up, not a very good one. It takes a Crest bounce back toward the 20, and we'd be down around the 19-yard line, and another late flag comes out.
Well, it's turning into the war we thought it might be.
You said fireworks, I thought.
But you got guys hitting after the play. You got helmets flying, shoes coming off, penalties, turnovers.
Like I said, all kind of sporting goods hitting the turf out there. Now, when they come out of a pile with somebody's shoulder pads, then I'll start getting concerned.
We're way up here, but we'll start getting scared then.
So the penalty against the Chargers, personal foul penalty. So even with the penalty, they'll start at the Shelby 33-yard line. 1st down and 10, 5:51 left in quarter number 2. Robinson from the shotgun. He'll throw a quick out to the right side and up the right sideline. Bruce Smith And Deshaun Key was there quickly to close it down.
And I think after starting 2 for 2, it's the first pass that Robinson has completed in a while. Had an interception, a near interception.
Second down and 9 now. From the 32-yard line, Robinson again from the shotgun. He hands it off in the backfield. His man dives forward. It's Tosh Toms, and he'll be close to a first down.
Oh, just a nice job by the left side of the line. Even the receivers getting into the act for the Chargers that time. Watch how much they clean this thing out here. Look at that. Nobody around him.
A beautiful spin. A late pancake block by Travis Ellis. And he has enough for the first down. First down and 10. Shotgun again. Tom's back there with Robinson. And flags fly. Somebody's lined up offsides because there's plenty of time left on the play clock.
And this one's going to be against the Golden Lions. They're starting to get a few penalties going against them now. Crest already 6 penalties for 64 yards, and this will put Shelby 3 penalties for 14 yards. But exactly what the Golden Lions didn't need. They're going to leave the door open and let the Chargers run right back in.
Just inside the 18-yard line. Tom slips and falls. Will be down behind the line of scrimmage at the 21-yard line. I guess you about have to credit Keandre Stevenson with a tackle. Actually, no, it'll be 65. Michael McLam, not 85.
And he's broken through a few times already tonight. Tom's trying to plant and make the cut to get away from him, but the turf not holding. He's slipped down a couple of times tonight. All right, look up on the bank there, all the people.
Just a scattering of folks all over the place here. Robinson from center. Fumbles the snap and he dives on it. And that'll be a wasted play for the Chargers. They'll have a third down situation coming up. I can't imagine that there's a place right now in Cleveland County you could get a bite to eat because everyone's closed up shop and headed over to the ballpark.
We did have a pretty good, here we are, pretty
way
good
back there behind all those
in the
coaches.
Yeah.
Robinson from the shotgun, big third down play here, trips to the right. A great block thrown, the pass is short, incomplete. And Robinson had to get rid of it in a hurry because a couple guys were bearing down on him, notably Corey Brooks, number 33. And it's a 4th down and 8 situation, and they'll send in the field goal unit. Doug Lowry will try to kick a 37-yard field goal.
Now, he missed one in overtime against Freedom that enabled Freedom, when they got the ball back, to score and win. I think it was a 22-yarder.
Kick is up plenty of distance. It's accurate and it's good. He had a 33-yard field goal last year in this contest against Shelby. And this year, a 37-yard field goal. 21-10 your score. Crest trying to claw back in this one.
Relax and let your thoughts drift away in a stressless, the ultimate recliner. Designed to support you perfectly in any position. Relax your body, free your mind in a stressless.
Come, experience Stressless at Enbo Furniture in Cornelius.
It's coming. Right to your neighborhood. And when it does, you may be surprised. It's your Social Security statement of your benefits, and it's going to help you plan your financial future. Your benefit statement will tell you how much Social Security you're eligible to receive and when you'll get it. Then you'll know how much you need to save for retirement, because that's coming too. The future is in your hands. Choose to save.
Start each workday off tuned in and informed with News 14 Carolina's Wake Up Weather. Weekdays at 5 a.m. Get your first look at the day's weather forecast, traffic updates, and the top stories. Now with even more weather coverage than before. more than you'll find anywhere. News 14 Carolina's Wake Up Weather, weekdays at 5 a.m. The best way to start your day. News 14 Carolina, only on Time Warner Cable.
21-10, Crest gets a field goal to claw back to within 11 points here on a 6-play, 13-yard drive that took 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Had penalties going both ways in that drive. Two schools a little over 5 miles apart in Cleveland County, Crest and Shelby. Both participants in their respective state championship games last fall. Crest winning one, Shelby losing in the final game. A nice play there by Odom. He slips out of those tackles, but will be swallowed up around the 15-yard line. Aaron Cannon, one of the first guys there to make the stop.
And one of the Shelby players is hurt, Ryan.
Way up at the 32-yard line, a man down for the Golden Lions. We're hoping it's just a cramp. They're checking on him right now as Coach Norman talks with Daryl Montgomery to get the play in there. Montgomery had an outstanding season last year.
And it
does look like a cramp there. Yep. They're working on that calf.
You hate to see a guy still down, but when they act like that and make that motion, that tells you that it's the lesser of the evils.
We'll step aside while he gets worked on, and hopefully he'll be up in a moment. And we'll get right back to football. 3:15 left in the second quarter. It's 21-10.
Time Warner Security, we're dedicated to protecting the people and things you love. We offer state-of-the-art home security with flexible installation packages and monitoring contracts. Time Warner Security offers a free lifetime warranty on all equipment, even against lightning damage, all from a name you know and trust. And now you can install Time Warner Security for as low as $99. With monthly monitoring, only $25.95. Call today for more information. Time Warner Security, the best value for your money and your peace of mind.
Keandre Stevenson walking off on his own power, heading to the sidelines to get rehydrated. We forget it. It feels mid-October out here right now, but it's still early September, so guys are still trying to keep the proper levels of hydration. 3:15 left in the second quarter. Shelby has the ball, and they hope they don't have to give it back before the quarter's over. Here's Jolly, right side. Runs into a truck over there. That truck is the guy we talked about, Brandon Spikes, laid a big lick on. It'll be a modest game.
Now, we talked about Spikes earlier. Coach Kirby said he used to play at about 255, but has leaned himself to 230 or so now and always had the great speed. And talking about the plethora of schools looking at him, Ryan, he says he wants to play linebacker. He doesn't. A lot of coaches are talking to him about moving to the defensive line. Says if a school wants him to do that, don't bother calling. He wants to play linebacker.
He'll pass. He has other options. Montgomery from center. He still has it. Rolling to his left. He's got one man downfield. He's going to unload. He's going to unload on a double slant pattern. Almost caught by Preston Roseborough. Had it in his fingertips. Couldn't bring it in. That would have been a spectacular play.
Yeah, and Sutton got behind the defense as well. Both receivers, everybody came up thinking that Montgomery was going to keep it. And look here, both receivers behind the coverage.
Ooh.
Can you say fooled?
Got to bring that in, young man.
Wow.
In full stride, that was a laser beam from Montgomery. Got to remember, this kid probably hasn't been driving a car too long. Led his team to a state championship game last year as a sophomore. Now just a junior. And a timeout, Shelby. They want to talk things over. 3rd down and 6 coming up, and it's very important with that incomplete pass. It's important that they at least burn some clock off because Crest will have about 2 minutes should the Golden Lions be unable to get a first down here.
And they will have 1 timeout left, will Crest, after this, so they'll have some time to try and work on things. But these two teams have changed a little bit, Ryan. Remember, as you mentioned last year, Crest won the 3AA title. They've moved up to 4A this year, and they have gone into
the Big
a
South
conference, with the likes of schools like Ashbrook, South Point, Forest View, East Gaston, North Gaston, who's 3-0 by the way, and Hunter Huss. Now Shelby has moved to the Southwestern 2A, 3A conference against teams like Burns, Kings Mountain, Chase, RS Central, and East Rutherford.
Burns was one game away from the state championships from 2A last year. They'll throw on third down. Montgomery rolls, throws it downfield. I don't believe it was caught. It is incomplete, or did he make the catch?
I don't think he did.
Incomplete, fourth down. Yeah, the Big South Conference, South Point won the state title 3 years ago. Ashbrook won it 2 years ago. And Crest has won a couple of state championships. Maybe I have 4 years ago and 3 years ago. So that conference has 4 state titles in the last 4 years. And we will see Crest take on Ashbrook in a few weeks, right back here at Sid Bryson Stadium. And with 2:18 left, the punt is away for Shelby. A great Sunday hop for Mario Washington. If he can get to the corner, he's got some space. He's into Shelby territory, lowers his shoulder, and he'll be knocked out of bounds around the 43-yard line. Big stop by Tavares Jolly. But Crest now with 2:03 left has a chance to climb right back in this, so hold the phones. We thought we might get a game out of this.
Hey, actually the last 2 games in this series have been among the best in the series. It was a 17-14 affair a couple of years ago, the big 38-35 thriller last year. Shelby leads the all-time series. There's been one tie, that was eons ago, but this series started back in the late 60s.
The road team, of course, winning the last 3. Crest has a 14-11 edge since 1980. And they'll go to the air. Robinson downfield, it's tipped and incomplete.
Like Mark Williams got a hand on it there, the strong safety. And it seems like every time Robinson goes back to pass, Ryan, there is a golden line between him and his intended receiver.
Bruce Smith, the intended guy, and Robinson, it appears he's just not seeing that second defender when he lets go of the football, because they seem to be right in the area.
The Chargers do have one timeout to work with.
Second down and 10. Washington in motion from the shotgun. Throws it to his dump out man. That's Tom's. Left side's got a little room. Slips to the outside. He'll have a positive gain, and more importantly, he gets out of bounds. And a flag flies late for a late hit, it appears. You don't want to give Crest free 15 yards here. That helps their cause with 1:48 to go in the half.
And you just saw Lowry put a 37-yard field goal on you, so now you're not too far from his range.
So tack on 15 more for a first down, but more importantly, field position.
Deshaun Key came storming up the middle on a blitz that time, number 22. Had the little screen out to the left, and you have to wonder, had they not had that blitz, there would have been linebackers out there to assist on that play. It looked like at least 2 guys came up.
Got a shot of Coach Kirby over there, watching intently as his team lines up right around the 22-yard line. 1:48 to go in the second quarter. Crest down by 11, and there's Washington back in there at the quarterback spot with Robinson split out wide to the right. And Washington will just take off up the middle on the quarterback draw up to about the 15-yard line. Washington we don't have for a carry this season, but he did have a touchdown catch last week in the loss to Freedom.
And look at the C's part with that tremendous offensive line for Crest. I mean, you look down there, they've got 270, 285, 260, 299, 330.
Washington had the only touchdown for Crest last week on the reception. And he'll stay in there at the quarterback spot. Jumbo package up front. Washington running the option, but he's not even looking for his pitch man. And if he can get the first down, the clock will stop again, but I don't know if he'll be there. Looks like he's short, so they've got to hurry up or call a timeout here. Robinson will check back in at the quarterback spot.
45 seconds.
And they'll call a timeout. Their final one. All they have to do is get a first down here to stop the clock again, but they'll burn that final timeout. So we'll step aside as well. We have 3/4 of a minute remaining in the first half, and Crest trying to get back in this when they're down 11 here at home.
It can change the channel from here, adjust the volume from over here, and control what your kids can and can't watch on TV, even when you're miles away. It's your remote control, and you can use it to restrict access to any channel you don't want your kids watching, and to automatically block shows based on ratings. Talk about remote control. To learn more, visit controlyourtv.org. Cable TV. Take control. It's easy.
One breakthrough machine gave us insight into the bones, as another did for the heart, and another for the brain. Now doctors are using a new machine to practice medicine and save lives. The difference is, it's one you can use too. When you log on to medlineplus.gov from the National Library of Medicine and the National Institutes of Health, you're tapping into the largest, most comprehensive medical website in the world. medlineplus.gov, the website doctors prescribe.
44.3 ticks remaining. And you got to cling to that 0.3 of a second if you're Crest right now. Any extra time you can get, you take. Third down and a yard. Robinson from center, hands off. Toms grabbed in the backfield. He spurts on that, fumbles the football, and Shelby has it. What a costly mistake for the Crest offense on the precipice of another touchdown. They give it up.
The turnovers come back to haunt Crest again. We mentioned 5 turnovers a week ago.
It looked like Lamont Carpenter, number 60, grabbed the jersey of Tom's and caused the ball to pop loose. And with no timeouts for Crest, Shelby can just kneel down on this football and take that 11-point lead to the house.
And that might be the best thing here.
They'll get the football first in the second half, so just kneel on it. They'll run it up the middle, and it's a chance for guys to strip it from Jolly. They're trying, but Jolly won't let go of the football. And I don't think they'll have to run another play.
Yeah, by the time they get it reset, we'll be inside 20 seconds and start the play clock or start the... Yeah, they won't have to snap it again.
Plenty of time left, more time left on the play clock than the game clock, so this half will end. Shelby doesn't have to do another thing. And they lead going into the half 21-10. Well, once again, last year, Crest trailed 21-3 and came back to win the game in an exciting second half. So now my most favoritist part of the game comes where the coaches get to play a little chess and make their adjustments. And we'll find out what they do. We'll have stats and more fun and frivolity from Sid Bryson Stadium. They'll dedicate it here in just a few minutes at the half. It's 21-10, Shelby on top.
Did you know you have the power to stop children from joining gangs? You can help a father find a job and home for his family. You can assist a woman who can't afford the medicine she needs to live and the home she can't live without. You can choose to make a difference. Support the programs that are working in our community. Contact Volunteers of America today.
21-10, Shelby leads Crest here at the half, and that's got to be the only unobstructed view in this entire place. Risking life and limb to watch a football game.
Best seat in the house.
Ryan Rose and Woody Kane as we take a look at the halftime stats, and they do not lie. This is a barn burner.
Well, everything fairly even all the way down until you get to the 2 turnovers by Crest. Those were critical, but look how much more time of possession they have. It didn't do them a whole lot of good because of 2 turnovers and 6 penalties that really hurt them in that first half, and that was a problem for them, as we mentioned last week, against Freedom as well. Now, some big highlights in that first half. Crest starts off with an impressive drive, 62-yard drive capped by this 3-yard run by Chavis Poole. The senior gets into the end zone. A little slow to get up, but he's been okay. Right back comes Montgomery down the field to Tavoris Jolly all the way to the end zone. 44 yards for number 44. He scores to tie the game up. Then the big fullback who's been getting it done, Arsenio Parks, a 20-yard sprint to the house, and that puts Shelby on top by a touchdown. 2 more scores in the second quarter, one by each team. A 3-yard run by Jolly for the Golden Lions and a 37-yard field goal by Lowry for Crest gives us our 21-10 halftime score.
And that time of possession kind of odd. Crest has had the ball that time, but the turnovers, they drive it down and then give it up late to the Shelby Golden Lions. And in the first half of play so far, 1 of 6 on third downs for Crest, 2 of 4 for Shelby. And here's the difference in starting field position. Shelby has started on average at their own 30-yard line, Crest on their own 39. A little misleading because they started on average, Shelby did, on their own 47 in the first quarter thanks to the interception and the turnovers and the poor punt there in the first half. So that's how we get to where we are now. And Shelby, unfortunately for Crest, is going to get the ball first to start the second half. And really, Crest is behind mostly because of their own ineffectiveness, a timely penalty, a timely turnover, although there's really no good time for a turnover.
Yeah.
Those are the things that Crest has done to themselves today, and Shelby has just been opportunistic, taking advantage of those situations.
And remember, Shelby narrowly missed completing a big bomb that would have given them 7 more points. You mentioned the misleading stat a little bit about the field position. Remember, Shelby started one drive at the 1, so that skews those numbers a little bit.
Indeed. Crest ready to kick off. Perfect timing. We're ready for the second half. A high floater taken around the 10-yard line, bobbled, and cutting up the left sideline at the 25-yard line. I wanted to say it was Montgomery, but it was actually 82, Antonio Odom. Dwayne Maddox there for the stop, and the Golden Lions will start their first possession of the second half on their own 27-yard line. This is my favorite part of the game, to see the adjustments that both teams have made coming in out of the locker rooms for the second half. And the weather's been so nice. It's a very cool evening here. There are not much temperature problems for either team. We've only seen one guy cramping up as we get into week 4 of the regular season.
I know Coach Kirby probably said, stop making penalties, stop turning the ball over.
Simple adjustments to make on paper. Here's Jolly with lots of blockers, guys leading, pulling from the offensive line. He's stopped near the 30-yard line. A great run by him. Brandon Spikes there quickly to make the stop, and I'm sure there's a guy that defensively Crest has sort of looked to say, we need some stops, and you have to help us get them.
Well, he was in on that one, and he's around the ball repeatedly, even if he's not always making the tackle. Good size, good speed.
3-yard gain for Jolly. He now has 53 yards on 8 carries and a touchdown. Ball spotted at the Shelby 30-yard line, second down and 7. From the wing tee, give it to the fullback that time. Pushes the pile forward for the Golden Lions as Coach Kirby looks on. Carry there by number 30, Doug Scott. Playing a little fullback on that formation. Scott will have a couple yards. It'll be 3rd down and 5 now. Still with the wing tee. Jolly's on the left. Roseboro is on the right. He's in motion, and Montgomery will pass. Pulls it down, wants to run. He's got a few guys to get past, and he'll be up close to the 39-yard line. A couple of big stops there. Sean Tate was in the area, but a great scramble and a first down.
Take a look at it again, Ryan. He'll go back and set his feet, get ready to throw, but good coverage downfield forces him to pull it down. But not until he picks up the first down. And, you know, we mentioned in that first half on the touchdown, the 3-yard run, that Chavis Poole was also a linebacker. I don't recall seeing him back since then. Have you seen him? I don't recall it. I'm looking for him on the sidelines on the Crest side, and I do see him now. He is out of pads and standing over on the sidelines.
A big loss, but Shelby seems to be managing all right without him. Montgomery looking downfield. Pass incomplete. Overthrowing Travis Little, the tight end. Skip Allen there in the vicinity. You see him there, number 14 in your picture.
A little bit of contact perhaps before the ball got there. You heard the Shelby side react as the ball was in the air. But critical, Ryan, for Crest to get a stop here for Coach Kirby in his 9th season. It would be very demoralizing for them for Shelby to just march it down and punch one in here to start off the second half.
9th season as head coach. He's been here a while as an assistant, and he played here. And a lot of flags fly.
That didn't work.
Put that play back on your pocket. A false start there by the offense. Illegal procedure. So this 2nd down and 10 becomes a 2nd down and 15 as the Shelby staff looks on. Usually we see the opposing coach on the long across the field shot. This time we're up on the sideline with him as we're on the visitor side of now Sid Bryson Stadium.
We thought there was going to be more room over here. How'd that work out?
There's still more room than there is over there. Montgomery still has it into open field. A nice block, but the defender just pulled out of the block, that being Josh McDowell. He slipped out of that block to make the tackle. Otherwise, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, downfield trying to set something up was Javis Sutton, number 81. And McDowell gets away right here to trip up Montgomery, or he had a lot more room.
But a 1st down and into Charger territory. 2 things Crest did not want to happen. First of all, they don't want to give up points. Second of all, they don't want Shelby to just sit here and eat the clock up as they are on this drive. 5 plays, 24 yards so far, approaching 3 minutes into this drive. The first of the second half. Here's Montgomery. Handoff. Parks. Left side. He'll have a couple, if that many. Dwayne Maddox there in the vicinity is Teron Brooks also there, and Big Kenneth, Brandon Peterson also taking up some space up front.
And he can take up quite a bit of it at 285 pounds.
One of their stud returning big guys on that defensive front. 2nd down and 9. Pitch back to Jolly. That could have been a busted play. It still didn't turn out much. And look who's up there making the stop, little Tosh Toms.
Yeah, and Jolly actually ran into his own man there as he was about to try and make his move, and that just wrecked everything.
Could have been a 5-yard loss. Turns out to be a 2-yard gain, but they still have 7 more to go for a 1st down.
If there are key plays in the second half, this will be one. A 1st down here would give the Golden Lions all kinds of momentum and confidence.
But they need 7, so Crest can go after Montgomery here. Shotgun, pro set, and a timeout. They didn't get the play motioned in time, and they were very close to a delay of game. So rather than that, they'll take the timeout. 3rd down and 7 when we come back. Shelby still leads this one by 11. There's a guy who'd love to get in this game defensively, number 25, kneeling down, Drew Fitzmaurice, the guy we talked about earlier, defensive captain of his high school team in New Orleans area, and his school is currently underwater right now as flags fly on 3rd down and 7. Somebody cheated.
Boy, what must be going through his mind right
He
about
just
now?
got here Monday. I mean, it's been a tumultuous 2 weeks for him.
But that story, Ryan, is being repeated all over the nation. A church here took him in, and he's come to a new school, and it's just, you're right, he'd love to get in there and play a little bit just to put all that tragedy out of his mind.
Any sort of distraction for him right now.
There he is.
Just trying to assimilate himself into the team, and Coach Kirby said, we found a heck of a player. Might turn him into a tight end. Jolly in motion after the penalty. It's 3rd down and 12 now. Big play, a little screen pass, and it goes for nothing. As Brandon Peterson was there in the vicinity to break this up. I don't know that he caught the ball, and it's better for Shelby if he didn't.
Spikes comes in to make sure he stays down, and the Shelby coaching staff was hoping for a late hit there, but none forthcoming. So mission accomplished, I guess, on the opening drive for the Chargers. They gave up some time, but no points.
3-yard loss there, and a punting situation. as Washington is back, almost getting a piece of that football. It'll be a short kick. It takes a sideways bounce, and it's actually picked up by Toms. That sneaky guy grabbed another 3 or 4 yards out of that.
I didn't even see him.
No one saw it.
Wow, he was hiding in there. And
That's a shifty guy.
You know the Crest sidelines was going, no. Take a look at him again. You won't even see him in here at the end of this thing. Oh, that's awfully close.
Nearly tipped there by Josh McDowell, I think, number 10, who got in there. So now Jordan Robinson in the offense, back out there for Crest. Quick little handoff. And a slow developing play is running the football is Donald Clark, number 28. Howard Thompson, the free safety, one of the guys in there to make a stop.
And they think Clark is an inside threat for him. Remember last year they were replacing Travis Padgett and Martre Littlejohn, 1,000-yard rushers. This year they've got Clark, who they think is an inside threat. Brandon Miller gives them some versatility. Carter has some breakaway speed. And now they bring the little guy in, Tosh Toms, this game to throw another curveball at the defense.
Second down, a pass play out in the flat to the right side. Mario Washington, and he's wrapped up quickly. Great stop. Calvin Brown, the cornerback, stayed at home, wrapped him up. Perhaps a loss of a couple here. It'll bring up a big third down play.
And this is where the Crest coaching staff knew they were going to have to do their work. They had a ton of returnees back on defense, but offense a little slower to develop, a little slower to get in sync. They lost a lot more there. And after that opening drive, they have not looked the same.
Robinson from the shotgun. He'll pass out to the left side. I don't think he caught it. Oh, they're calling it a catch. Complete pass over to Arthie Phillips.
And one of the Chargers is hurt in the backfield.
This should be a first down. Let's see.
Well, looks like he did get it.
Perhaps. That would be a first down, but one of the offensive linemen is down for Crest. That's Adam Giles, the only returner up front for the Chargers. We'll check on him as they stop play for the timeout.
Relax and let your thoughts drift away in a stressless, the ultimate recliner. Designed to support you perfectly in any position. Relax your body, free your mind in a stressless.
Come, experience Stressless at Enbo Furniture in Cornelius.
That's not really the sight you want to see if you're a Charger fan, really a high school fan in general, for two reasons. One, you don't want anybody going off the field. Two, you certainly don't want the guy that's the only returning starter and one of your best offensive linemen going off the field. First down and 10, Robinson throws it out in the flat to Toms, who just simply drops it.
Yeah, I was looking upfield trying to make yardage before he had it secured.
Robinson now 6 out of 11 passing for 39 yards. And
you see the size difference there? Tyrese Williams, 6'4", 330, standing right beside Tosh Toms, 5'4", 150. He could put him in his pocket.
Second down and 10 for Crest. They need points. Blitz coming. Tom's right side needs to get the corner, finds it, and he's across midfield into Golden Lions territory. Great run there by the little guy who really led things when we started this ball game. Mark Williams on the stop.
Watch him accelerate here when he turns the corner. Boom. Oh, and he knocked somebody down. Look at that.
He was really the catalyst to Crest's first touchdown. They just really fed him the ball and haven't really gone back to it since. And now that they have here on this drive, they've found some success. First down and 10, Toms again. Up the middle, ooh, big stop. A quick big stop as flags fly along the line of scrimmage. Big hitter Michael McLamb comes out of that pile. For the Golden Lions, an illegal shift will be the call against the Chargers. And of course they'll take the penalty here. So instead of a 4-yard gain, it'll be a 5-yard penalty, and we'll do first down over again.
Tom's 66 yards on 14 carries.
Leads all players in rushing tonight. And when he's got some space, he's hard to find, and once he hits that hole with a full head of steam, you're going to see the back of his jersey pretty quickly. Robinson will drop back, 3 men in the pattern. He's going for it all. Washington down there. It is intercepted. Calvin Brown, second pick of the night for the Golden Lions and for Crest. Another interception for the quarterback. That's his 5th of the year.
And turnovers continue to plague the Chargers.
Brown just jumped the route, and the ball sort of hung up there. Washington didn't know there was a guy back there. And why are we putting the ball down at the 49-yard line?
I think there was some late activity after the fact that time because Coach Norman is still upset, and he's trying to call the official over and talk to him a little bit about it. Now, wait a minute. They're giving the ball back.
Yeah. Let's see what the call is.
Coach Norman wants to know.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Don't you want to know?
I'm with you. And he is not happy.
I didn't see a penalty, flag, or a call by the official. Unless they're saying he was out of bounds.
That's the only thing I can think of, that he didn't have control of it. Well, a break
Coach Norman
for the Chargers.
says that's twice now I've been hosed in this game, he thinks. So second down and 15. Forget the 5 interception business. Robinson gets it this time to Washington. Slips a tackle. He's down near the 40-yard line. About an 11-yard gain there on second down. It'll be third down and short coming up. Doug Scott on the stop. That was a no-step drop.
Yeah,
He was already in the shotgun.
maybe a half a step at the most. Robinson now 7 for 13, 50 yards in the air, 1 pick.
Big third down play here. You're probably in 4-down territory if you don't make it. Robinson knocked down at the right in front of him, diving to make the stop was Corey Brooks. He leaped over Toms and just swatted that big Golden Lion paw into the football.
Tom's got there in pretty good shape and put a shoulder pad on him, but as he was flipping in the air, he got a hand up and knocked the ball away.
I think Brooks just figured he could hurdle him. He dove over him. And you pretty much, well, maybe you don't have to go. I thought they would go for it here on 4th down.
Oh, they spelled it correctly. How about that? We saw some kids get out of line a couple of weeks ago, and there were too many consonants next to each other.
It's a great place to fake it if you're going to. But they'll angle it in the coffin corner. Fair catch called for at about the 9-yard line. So Shelby will be in a tough spot here. The last time they were stuck in their own corner of the end zone, they couldn't get out. And Crest subsequently scored after that on the short field. Can you believe only 4 minutes left in this third quarter?
It has zipped by, but that's a product of the pounding running game for the Chargers that time. Just ate up time off the clock, but unfortunately they've got to get points if they're going to do that. They can't eat up time and get nothing if they're going to get back in this game.
Montgomery back under center, and they'll give it to Parks up the middle. The fullback in the wing tee will get a few, not many. Now we've seen Coach Norman not afraid to pass from way deep in his own territory already. And with a steady arm like Montgomery has, why not lean on him a little bit?
Well, typically when they do it in this situation, they roll him out and give him an option to go downfield or tuck it and run himself, since he does have good speed.
He has 2 carries for 24 yards. You know, he's got the goods. Man in motion to the left side. Second down and a medium gain here. Into the pile, but not coming out, was Jolly. And there's Brandon Peterson again in the vicinity, as well as Sean Tate. we're going to be hearing about these guys on Saturdays coming up, I'm sure, at a college near you. As Montgomery brings in the 3rd and 2 play.
I was going to say, what was going on here? That was kind of weird looking, the way they were spinning around there with the cheerleaders.
Montgomery under center. Man in motion is Roseboro, and Parks will go himself, but I don't think he'll get anywhere.
No, excellent push on that right side of the Crest defensive front. Just threw everything back into the Shelby backfield and busted that play up before it ever got cranked.
Dwayne Maddox and Sean Tate making things very difficult for the Shelby offense. And if memory serves me, this will be the first 3 and out. Actually, they were stuck down in their own end zone, the other side, in the second quarter. So another 3 and out and a flag flies. Somebody's lined up incorrectly. Offsides on the offense. That would have been a cardinal sin if you were offsides on the defense, because that would have been a first down. So 4th and 2 becomes 4th and 7. And that means Shelby's Tyler Rabb has to punt from his own end zone. Send one man after him. Almost got there.
He ran into the kicker.
Hit the kicker, no flag. Here's Mario Washington up the right sideline, and Crest is going to get great field position. But the visitor side is none too happy. And the coaching staff, every last one of them is 2-3 yards on the field. Watch this.
Evan Bostic is going to be the guy who storms through there, and he's saying he got blocked into the kicker.
He did. Yeah, he got shoved in. A great call.
I think it was Jolly who was the up back there who gave him a shove.
And of course, you never see that part of the play. You only see your kicker getting hit as Washington comes in at the option quarterback position. He'll just straight run it up himself. Diving, a big stiff arm, and he'll be wrangled down around inside the 25-yard line.
Well, they've been effective mixing it up with Washington, running the ball from the quarterback spot. And again, look at this push right up the middle by this Crest offensive line. Look at that gap.
His fullback on the play, Brendan Miller, threw a big block to key that play, and it'll be a 2nd down and short situation here, just 1 to go.
4 carries, 36 yards for Washington on the night, and the officials have taken a timeout now. There's an equipment problem on the Crest side, another helmet blown out. And you hear the displeasure here on the sidelines as...
Those must be new helmets.
Yeah. They'll give you a little bit to get it fixed, and then they'll send you to the sidelines.
And you certainly, Crest has got to feel like their momentum is getting stopped here. Washington, his flags are all over the place. A lot of movement before the snap of the football, and they'll charge it against the Chargers. So here in the final minute of the 3rd quarter, Crest 9 yards up and 5 yards back. They're taking baby steps to get closer to that end zone, but they're starting to run out of time.
Shelby was starting to catch them in terms of penalty yardage, but that's the 8th penalty, 74 yards for the Chargers. Shelby, 7 penalties, 44 yards.
And that 30-yard difference on a personal foul and the kick-catch interference penalty. 2nd down and long. And the snap count, which was designed to get the defense to jump, got the offense to jump. And Crest will go back 5 more.
Like Nelson Bullard took off a little early, the sophomore. See if it's number 70 here. Nope, 72. Tyrese Williams, all 330 pounds of him, and when he flinches, everybody sees it.
Well, you can't hide when you flinch like that. There's nowhere to go. But back 5 yards, 2nd and 12. We've had 4 or 5 do-overs on this drive, and Shelby calls a timeout.
Leaves them with 1.
They didn't like the matchup they had, and seeing as they already burned one early in the quarter. Got
a big game coming up next week.
Robinson at Kannapolis. New coaching staff over at Robinson. Some of my friends from the Monroe staff moving up to, what is it? It's not Poplar. Pitt School Road's where that school is, and taking on Kannapolis.
Robinson in the shadows of Lowe's Motor Speedway, and A.L. Brown started off the year 3-0.
A few shaky wins, but hey, they count as wins, right?
Yeah,
take
indeed
3-0
they do.
any way you can. We'll be at Monroe next week. Piedmont at Monroe as well. As you see the beautiful new scoreboard here at Sid Bryson Stadium. Crest getting set for Big South play. They'll be taking on Kings Mountain here next week, and in 2 weeks, home to Ashbrook, as Washington on the option will just stiff arm his way to the sideline. Corey Brooks on the stop. And Shelby will host Lincolnton. And then they'll be on the road for 3 weeks, including their conference opener at Burns on the 7th of October.
Boy, coming up to make the tackle at the end there, got a nice stiff arm to the face. Corey Brooks, who darn near came up with that interception a while back.
He got out of bounds, so the clock stops with 16.7. Third down and 7. Quarter number 3 quickly winds to a halt. This will be the first scoreless quarter of this ball game. Robinson tipped and incomplete. Right through the hands of his intended receiver on the play.
Like he was trying to, was it Bostic, Evan Bostic, trying to hook up with him, and the ball high and behind him that time. And that'll make Robinson 7 out of 15.
Some of those weren't his fault. Long fourth down play here. Crest feels like they need to go for it. Ball sitting just on the 32-yard line. They need the 25-yard line for a first down.
And they're having trouble getting lined up correctly here.
And they call timeout from the sidelines. So Crest will get a quick timeout in. Like I said, 12.7 ticks in the third quarter. This is a really important possession for the Chargers if they expect to get back in this ballgame.
They didn't get it off, Ryan. That's a penalty. That wasn't the timeout.
The coaching staff was calling for a timeout. I saw him call for it.
And Coach Kirby is making that case now.
The sideline official says, I didn't hear it. He was waving his arms, though, but Coach Norman has got to be thinking, hey, that's fine with me. And now unsportsmanlike against Crest. Well, 4th and 7 just became 4th and 27 after a 5-yard delay of game penalty.
And you can't go for this. You can't.
Crest on their own 49-yard line. So they will punt it away. And once again, penalties have hurt the Chargers here in this ball game. Nice high punt. The defense is there. It takes a great bounce. It rolls down and will stop at the 1-inch line. How do you do that?
Twice.
And now they're calling touchback. They say it must have touched the end line. The ball touched the goal line.
Bradley, the first guy back there to down it, and that's the end of the quarter. But
this time they saw it touch the goal line. Into the third, 21-10. Hang on, buckle up for a fantastic finish here from Sid Bryson Stadium.
When it comes to kids' education, whom do you thank? A teacher, absolutely. But what about a city councilor who sponsors a mentoring program? Or a governor who increases science funding? Visionaries make a difference at every level. If someone in your community has implemented an innovative learning program, nominate that person for cable's prestigious Leaders in Learning Award. Award winners will be honored at a gala event at our nation's capital. Give people like this the recognition they deserve. To nominate someone in your community, go to leadersinlearningawards.org.
It's something we all agree on. It's something we all do. And this is how it's done. The USO depends entirely on the generosity of the American people. Help us support our troops until everyone comes home.
Some dogs fetch and roll over. Some dogs take you to Spain and shopping for refrigerators. Help you get through grad school. Start your own business. Go on hikes in the Grand Canyon. Some dogs you trust with your life every day. Being partners with a guide dog is having the freedom to do what you want in life. Nothing more, nothing less. And with your help, nothing need ever change that. Call 1-888-884-DOGS or visit guidedogs.com.
Now that's not spelled correctly.
Yeah, that's the symbol for boron over there. I don't know. This must be a science project class or something.
Oh my goodness.
21-10, and they say a touchback on that last punt, so Crest will have to defend Shelby from out at the 20. Here's Jolly around the right side. Still on his feet. They're stripping for the ball now. There's a nice tackle made on there by Corey Brooks, Spikes.
Watch Spikes move down the line of scrimmage and run him down. And Jolly, as we've seen, has good speed, but here comes Spikes and almost pulled that ball loose. And evidently a flag came out late, it looks like, because we're going backwards.
Moving backwards again. Holding is the call. I think we've had more penalty yards than offensive yards here in the last 5 minutes of this game.
Well, we're over 150 yards in penalties for both teams right now, total.
Crest has 98 yards in penalties and only 50 yards in passing. And Shelby has more penalty yards than passing yards as well.
That won't get her done.
First down and 15, first down and 18. Pitch out, left side, Roseboro. Swallowed up quickly, nice tackles made by Toms and Josh McDowell, number 10. And we'll stop the clock again.
I think there's an injured Charger down there. It was McDowell, who you mentioned was in on that tackle, the 160-pound senior. Was being blocked, fought through it, and actually came up and made that tackle or helped make it from the ground.
We'll hope he's all right. They'll check, the trainers will get out to him, and we'll step aside as well. It's still 21-10, plenty of time left in the fourth, but Shelby's trying to run some clock down.
Relax and let your thoughts drift away in a stressless, the ultimate recliner. Designed to support you perfectly in any position. Relax your body, free your mind in a stressless.
Come, experience Stressless at Inbo Furniture in Cornelius.
They did assess a penalty on that last play as Josh McDowell was helped off the field. So this drive has one play and negative 13 yards because of a holding penalty and now a procedure penalty. First down and 22. Looks like Crest is going to get that down the ball at the one eventually, some way or somehow. It keeps moving backwards from the 7-yard line. Montgomery stands at his 2. Rolls right, looks in the pocket, slings it downfield. It is incomplete, just over the hands of Jolly, who was accelerating and separating from his defenders, including Jeffrey Thompson.
And when he turned on the Jets, he did open up a gap at the end of that play. He started to run away from people.
Looked very Randy Moss-ish, the way he just, the space between he and the defender started getting wider.
Montgomery 2 for 7, 41 yards and a touchdown.
That touchdown was a long time ago. The passing game has not looked sharp since then. And a timeout for Shelby, and that is it for them. That's all 3 timeouts are burned for Shelby, and Montgomery is upset over something.
I'm not sure if they didn't have the right personnel on or if they couldn't get aligned correctly, but he is not too happy indeed.
So it'll be 2nd and 22 back at their own 7.
And you look at this game stat-wise, Ryan, and it's as even as can be. The only stat that's not is the one on your screen there, the score. 124 yards rushing for Shelby, 121 for Crest. Total yardage, 165 to 171. A couple of additional turnovers.
Both teams have 4
Crest.
punts. You know, it's just the field position that's the difference, really. The time of possession's pretty close. Both teams not really getting it done on 3rd down.
Both teams with a lot of penalties.
Yes.
20 penalties for about 155 yards, 156 yards.
21-10 still, and a long 2nd down coming now. Montgomery on the snap, hands off to Jolly. He can't slip through because big number 99, Brandon Peterson, wrapped him up quickly. After a modest gain, he stayed at home and made sure that no one was getting through his area.
And they're still wadded up. Look, there's spikes coming out of the bottom there. I thought it was Peterson as well.
Maybe they were just tangled up in there. They'll reset the clock and put the ball down, and here we go. It's sitting right on the 10-yard line. 3rd down and 20. They need to get to the 30-yard line. 10.5 minutes. Shelby will try to use as much clock as they possibly can. Trip receivers to the right. One to the left is Calvin Brown. The ball's on the turf. Montgomery picks it up, scrambles. He's got a lot of ways to go. The ball pops out. Crest is going to have it. They kick it into the end zone. Is it a touchdown or a touchback?
It came out of the end zone. Back there trying to get it was Jeffrey Thompson, and he just could not pick it up.
So this will be a touchback.
Wow, and I mean Montgomery took a wicked shot. The ball just went straight up.
Or a touchback.
It came out of the end zone. Back there trying to get it was Jeffrey Thompson, and he just could not pick it up.
So this will be a touchback.
Wow, and I mean Montgomery took a wicked shot. The ball just went straight up in the air. He got a grinding hit.
No one really got hands on it. It got kicked. It's going to come out to the 20-yard line.
And there's a flag down as well. A whole lot of sorting out to do on this one. Now you can't advance the ball after a kick, right?
Well, none of it's done on purpose.
Yeah, but that's in the eye of the beholder.
I don't know the high school rule on what you do in this case.
You have a big conference in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you're going to have a meeting at the meeting house.
And now they're going to go and do some splaining to the coaches.
It really wouldn't be fair to give Shelby the ball on the 20.
No.
But you can't give Crest the ball because they didn't recover the fumble. I thought it would be a safety in this case.
That's what I was wondering.
Because if you, on a bad snap and the punter punts it out of the back of the end zone, that's a safety. Well, this one goes out of the side. I think that's a safety.
But possession didn't change.
I'm embarrassed. I don't know what to do in this case. Because I've never seen this before.
You don't have to make the decision. That's
true.
The good news. With 7,000 people or so in here.
Yeah, this is the conversations you don't want to be having right now, is running back and forth across the field going, we're going to huddle up on this and figure out what to do.
One thing's for sure, no matter what they decide, a few thousand people aren't going to like it.
Somebody's going to be upset. Looks like they're putting the ball back where it was kicked from, which is about the 3-yard line. And it's 3rd down again.
Well, now wait a minute. How do you get the down over?
Down again.
If you have the spot at the 3, the down would have to go over, right? I mean, you'd have to lose the down,
yeah,
correct?
that was a play. I can't tell you why it's 3rd down right now. But they're going to run it anyway. Jolly cuts it back, and he almost got out of that tackle. I cannot imagine why that was 3rd down. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, it's 4th down now, and
football gods will sort this all out, but
Crest should get pretty good field position here.
Shelby's got a punt regardless. So Rab will do the punting duties as Mario Washington stands at the Shelby 45-yard line. Hopefully we'll have some semblance of order here in just a moment. It takes a Shelby bounce and a Shelby slide, and Washington thought about it, pulled back, came back up, pulled back again. As falling on it was Sam Burris. I think we got it all straightened out. It's Crest ball finally. 9:30 to go. They need 2 scores.
Yeah, and they would have to go for a 2-point conversion. The 1 point doesn't help you if they get the touchdown. If you don't get it, you still have to have the ball again anyway.
So first down and 10 from the Shelby 47. Crest needs points, and they're running out of time to get them. Jordan Robinson under center now. Man in his backfield is Donald Clark. And they hand it off end around as Brandon Carter goes around the left side. He fights for yardage. Great play by Carter. And the stop was made by Travis Pettis.
And he had a convoy out front. Did you see that?
Indeed.
Here go Tyrese Williams, 6'4", 330 pounds, and he was just looking for somebody to hit.
Clark gets 4 yards. Second down, rather gets 6 yards. Second down and 4. This is Washington scrambling around in his own backfield. Flags fly all over the place, probably for a hold. This one's going to come back. The tackle's made on the play by Corey Brooks, and more flags fly out. Somebody get control of this ball game.
Another flag comes out. Everything's breaking down here.
It's bedlam.
Now, Washington started to go right, reversed his field back left. That may have been when the hold came. And then there were all kinds of extracurricular activities on the tackle down the Crest sidelines.
And now they're trying to figure out who gets penalized for what. These dead ball penalties will be tacked on to whatever other penalties we have. I've just sort of lost count.
No
idea.
We may have some offsetting things here. 2 flags came out at the end of the play.
There's a hold, and if the flags were after the play, you got to enforce those as well. And now they're going to run it back the other way for Shelby's.
You know, I've never understood, Ryan, why they actually do the march off when they're going to come back. Why don't you just do the math then go the way you're going to wind up?
It's symbolic, I guess, or it's just they're spoon feeding the fans.
Take a look again. You'll see Washington go right, come back left. And nope, that wasn't the hold. It was at the line of scrimmage. And then right here, he gets wrestled out of bounds. There's a flag, and then another one comes out late.
It's like a procession. They're promenading up and down the field, and Crest finally the beneficiary of some penalty yards in their favor. We have 174 yards in penalties in this game. And that's as many offensive yards as Shelby has, and just 3 short of how many Crest has. Washington wants to run it up the middle. He won't get very far because flushing him out of the pocket was Keon Ross, and Rufus Fullove was there to make the tackle.
Ross, the big nose guard, 295-pound senior and one of the captains on this team.
And we've been about 17 or 18 minutes of clock time since we've had a score in this ball game. It's still 21-10. Crest trying to close the gap. They need points. And they're down there inside the 20-yard line. Hand off, Toms looking for a seam. Slips that tackle, and he's pulled down around the 10-yard line. Great job by Toms on that play. I don't know how he keeps getting all those big chunks of yardage, but somehow he does. Mark Williams there to help make the stop.
I think what you had said originally, Ryan, might be the case. It seems like guys are having trouble picking him up. I mean, in terms of spotting him when he's only 5'4" like that, hiding behind guys who are tremendous size along that offensive line.
And he has such quick, choppy steps, he's able to turn on a dime. First down and goal inside the 10. Here's Toms trying to get outside. He'll get nowhere fast. Nice swallow-up play there by Keon Ross, the nose guard.
Now keep in mind, if things get tight late here, Ryan, that Shelby has no timeouts left. Crest still has all of theirs. They tried to call the one earlier, but the penalty came before they could get it called.
Ball spotted smack on the 10-yard line, 2nd down and goal. Robinson under center. Tom's in the backfield with him. Pitch back, left side. Tom's on the sweep. One man takes him high, one man takes him low, but he'll get down inside or close to the 5-yard line. 2 guys there, Deshad Key. There you see in the middle of your screen, number 22. He was the high man. Doug Scott, the linebacker, was the low man. Make a wish.
This is a crucial drive for Crest. They must get points out of this drive.
6th play of the drive. 3rd down and goal. Around the 5-yard line. Toms going to the outside, cuts it back, takes a huge hit, slides down, and he scores! What an amazing effort by Tosh Toms. Reminiscent of the run of the Eagles in the NFC Championship game by Deshaun Foster a couple years ago. He was stopped about the 3-yard line, kept his legs turning, and found his way to the goal line.
And one of the smallest guys on the field showed you one of the biggest hearts right there.
And they're just going to kick the extra point. This is kind of a meaningless point here because it's the difference between 5 and 4. Extra point up. Flags fly again.
Well, if it's against Shelby, does that change your thinking? No, it's against Crest. So, yeah,
it's a meaningless extra point. The difference between 4 and 5 is nothing.
It still means another possession.
So they'll spot it back to the 8-yard line and go again. And they'll kick it again. 25-yard extra point. And again, whether you make or miss, you're still going to need a touchdown to take the lead. It sails to the left, but it's still through the uprights. And we have a 1-possession game. Shelby still leads it 21-17, but it's gotten wacky here in the last quarter of play. 6:25 left in the 4th.
Roadrunner Business Class provides intelligent connections to businesses of all sizes, connecting you to your most valuable resources with a variety of broadband products and services, including fiber solutions, teleworker programs, remote storage, and security for your network and workstations. Empower your employees and suppliers, support your customers, and improve your bottom line. Broadband IQ for you. Roadrunner Business Class.
Rechargeable batteries let us go anywhere and do anything. But the freedom to go unplugged comes with responsibility. Look at that.
Wow.
The responsibility to recycle. If you've got old rechargeable batteries hanging around, take them in to be recycled. It's easy and it's good for the environment. Check us out online or give us a call at 1-800-8-BATTERY to learn more.
Losing your eyesight doesn't have to be a part of aging thanks to a national program that offers no-cost services to qualified seniors. Eye Care America, a public service foundation of the American Academy of Ophthalmology, provides access to medical eye care for senior citizens. To find out if you qualify for medical eye care at no cost, call the number on your screen. Call today. This call could save your sight.
Kickoff forthcoming. Crest has to give it up unless they want to onside it. 21-17. There are 6 minutes and 25 seconds left, and I have an explanation of why it was 3rd down again, back on that other play, but we'll get to that in a minute. Kickoff is high, taken about the 8-yard line. And going up the sidelines quickly is Antonio Odom, and he has great starting field position for the Golden Lions as we take another look. Dwayne Maddox on the stop at the last touchdown.
Now watch him here. Toms is going to be stopped, it looks like, right here. But just keeps fighting, and everybody he's battling with is not just a little bit bigger, but a lot bigger than him.
Twice as big.
Yeah. And he just said, I don't care. I'm going to the house.
Okay, what happened when the ball got kicked out of the end zone? There was an illegal block penalty that Crest had to accept because it would have been a touchback and Shelby would have gotten the ball 1st and 10 at the 20. So they had to accept that penalty.
Okay.
And they would have anyway because they didn't want to give Shelby a free first down. It was 3rd down and a country mile regardless. 6:17 left, and Shelby, at this point, I wouldn't think is as much concerned with scoring as they are with just getting first downs and running the clock and staying in bounds as Preston Roseboro runs it around the left side. And Dwayne Maddox makes the stop for Crest.
Just inside 6 minutes to go now.
Right at midfield, it will be 2nd down and 6. And this is, again, reminiscent of last year when Shelby runs out to a big lead and Crest closes the gap. We've had
It's taking them longer this year, though.
fumbles and interceptions and penalties galore. Up the middle, Montgomery still has it, and they're basically trying to strip search the guy getting that football.
They bring the wand out and check him. Guys are just falling over here now.
Progress spotted up close to the 45-yard line of Crest. It will be 3rd down and a long yard. We've had 220 yards in penalties, 210 yards in penalties. And we've only had 380 yards of offense.
And a half a dozen officials meetings.
Yeah.
2 or 3 explanations to the coaches.
3rd down and short. Handoff up the middle, and it looks like it will be a first down for Shelby.
Awfully close. We may have a measurement. Let's see. Are they? Yep, they say first down. They signal it right away.
Parks gets it over the 45, down close to the 43-yard line. So the Chargers will have to make a stop here, and they cannot stop the clock. They have no timeouts left to burn. I'm sorry, Crest has all 3 timeouts. Shelby has no timeouts, but at this point they don't need them.
Coming up on 4.5 to go, and you got to get them to a 3rd down situation before you can start using them. Otherwise, they're meaningless.
Wing T. Roseboro in motion. Handed to Parks. Shifting, sliding, getting up through the linebacking core to the secondary, and he's down to the 30-yard line, and that'll be another first down. Jeffrey Thompson, Brandon Peterson had to make the stop chasing him down.
Watch him here. Big fullback just slamming it up in there. We mentioned he's got over 300 yards, and he's hurt now and on the season, and 6 touchdowns now. And hopefully it's just a cramp.
He's cramping up, so the trainers will lean on those balls of his feet. And with 4:17 left, we step aside. A 4-point game as Crest is trying to get back. They need a stop here and a touchdown.
My name is PFC Eunice Guerra. What I like about the National Guard is I can be, gung-ho and go out there and do, really awesome things, stuff that, civilians, wouldn't understand. And then I get to go home and, put on a pair of jeans. And I wanted to be a civilian and then turn around and be a soldier.
Defend freedom. In the Army National Guard, you can. Visit 1-800-GO-GUARD.com today.
There you see Arsenio Parks.
Now, are they carrying him or is he carrying them?
I don't know. He's not going to lean on those 2 young ladies too much.
No, because then they'll have to get treatment.
And it probably took all of their weight to lean on his feet to get those calves stretched out. First down and 10 now as that guy, Parks, has been carrying the load. So Montgomery has it rolling left. One big hit and then a second hit as Montgomery is deposited to the turf by Jeffrey Thompson.
First guy there who made him move looked like it was Riddings, number 41, who's just into the game. And check it out here. Everything's flowing right, and then Montgomery's going to come back left. But staying home is Riddings, and man, what a pop at the end of that by Thompson. The senior defensive back comes up and makes his presence felt.
2nd and 9, they'll give him a yard. And there's that man in the backfield going to the right. It's Jolly. He moves the pile forward down close to the 20-yard line.
One of Jolly's own men almost knocked him down in the backfield on that one.
Looked like Mitch Bridges, the left guard, got shoved and actually landed on the ankles of Jolly as he was getting the football. Clock keeps rolling, 3 minutes, 3rd down and 2, and Crest has to make a stop here before they can call a timeout. If they can't make the stop here, Shelby will be dangerously close to being able to just run this one out.
And now we got some players who can't quite get set, and one of the players in the backfield for Shelby's having all kinds of trouble. Preston Roseburg going this way, that way, and now the official stops the clock. It looked like I'm not sure if he lost a mouthpiece or what.
Mouthpiece is what he did.
Well, this is to Crest's advantage.
Well, Crest wants the delay of game, so it kind of helped out Shelby a little bit because they get to run a little more clock down. And so Shelby is just going to stand around and let that play clock run down. So they got an extra 20 seconds of clock time there. Montgomery sees the play clock. At the snap, the fullback gets it. And the new fullback is number 30.
Well, and now is Crest going to use the timeout?
Looks like they made the stop, so a timeout would be prudent here. Unless they're calling for a measurement. No, they just straight call a 4th down here. 4th down and a yard.
Well, the clock has stopped, and I didn't see. Now they started up again.
They started. Crest won't call the timeout. They got to make a stop here. If Shelby gets a 1st down, they can run this thing all the way down to the final seconds.
Play of the game right here.
Ball on the 20-yard line. Let's see if Montgomery sneaks it himself. No, fullback, and he'll have it. Looks like he's across the 30 to the 29-yard line. And it's a 1st down. There are a lot of upset people here. Of course, there's half of the stadium of excited people here.
It's going to be awfully tough for Crest now. They'll start burning timeouts, but just 1:40 to go, and they do use the first timeout now.
They have to. They're left with no choice with 1:39 left. You see the clock, situation, and score. Ball's on the 19-yard line, and we'll come back for a fantastic finish. 21-17, the visitors lead.
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Terry.
I'm John.
I'm
one of Earthlink's 2,000 employees.
I'm your internet service provider.
Your ISP. I am not a giant server in an air-conditioned room. I'm a living, breathing, hardworking internet person.
Just like you.
We've created spam blocker,
Virus blocker,
spyware blocker,
scam blocker. If there's a problem, we create a blocker for it. We're here to protect and serve you.
More speed, more security. Earthlink. We revolve around you.
Order Earthlink high-speed cable powered by Time Warner Cable today.
Shelby continues to possess the football. Woody, they got it with 6:17 left, and if you'd have asked me to make a wager, I would have said Crest should have stopped them by now, but the offense is just churning out the 1st downs. Handoff, and I think Parks is back in.
He is, and now Crest will probably have to use another timeout.
And they will. Not sure why it took so long to get the timeout in, but with 1:28 left, they'll burn that 2nd one, and it will be 2nd down and 6 coming up.
And here's where we were talking earlier about the difference between the 2-point conversion and the kicked 1-point extra point. And if Crest manages to get the ball back, now they've got to score a touchdown. If they had gone for 2 and gotten it, they would just have to try and get in field goal range. And at this point, with the time remaining, that's going to be a big difference. But first, they got to get the ball back.
Their second consecutive overtime game since losing to Freedom last week. But, yeah, getting the ball back is the paramount issue at this point. With 2nd down and 6, ball at the Crest 15-yard line with 88 ticks of the clock remaining.
But you mentioned it a moment ago. How about this drive by the Golden Lions? All the momentum had swung over to the Crest side, and then they just take it and run it right at the Chargers.
Methodically down their throats. A lot of fullback dives. The pop-out play to Jolly earlier. And there's Parks again. Hang on to that football, so say the Shelby folks. Stopped for a minimal gain, and there's the Crest timeout, the final one. Now the Chargers are out of timeouts.
Got 1:22 left right now, and another group discussion coming up here for both sides.
This will look like to be a yard or two. Well, it's sitting right on the 15-yard line, so no gain. 3rd down and 6. And yet another play of the game.
Yeah, they're piling them up now, aren't they?
Crest has got to make a stop here. And it doesn't really matter. Well, Shelby, if they have a field goal kicker, should certainly kick so they can't lose.
Well,
it
now
would be a 7-point, and then Crest could then go for 2 at home to win, but they have to get this. They have to get a score
and get all the way down the field with no timeouts left.
We'll discuss that issue if it comes up. But right now they've got to make a stop, and then Shelby can decide what to do on 4th down. Should they not make the 1st down here? Now the play clock in high school is only 25 seconds. It's not 40 like the pros. So.
And now that may not be a tough decision. Last week Shelby missed 3 field goals.
Big play here, 3rd down and 6 from the 15-yard line. Roseboro in motion, right side, it's Parks, slips out of a tackle. He's going to get downfield, and it looks like he'll have a 1st down, and if he does, this one's going to be over. 1st down, Shelby.
And now it's Academic.
They can kneel down on it or try to punch it in. A missed tackle there by the defensive end or linebacker, and that's it. Now it's just a matter of the clock continuing to roll. And the road team does it again. 4th consecutive year the road team has won in this series with 1 minute left exactly. Shelby at this point just doesn't want to be penalized and doesn't want to turn the ball over. Victory formation now as Montgomery kneels down on it at the 12-yard line. No need to rub salt in the wound here. Crest will drop to 1 and 2. Chris Norman's Shelby Golden Lions will bump up to 2 and 1. As the final 30 seconds tick off, some of the fans have spilled onto the sideline, but this game is still going on, so they have to kneel down on it one more time before it becomes official. Victory formation again for Montgomery and the offense, and they get it done. Traveling over to Crest and beating the defending 3AA champs, the Shelby Golden Lions notch another win in their belt on their mission to attempt to get back to the state championships, and beating a now 4A team is a huge step in that course of action. Final score, Shelby 21, Crest 17. Thanks to 175 rushing yards, 42 of them racked up on the final drive to keep the lead and secure the win. When we come back, we'll have a visit from head coach Chris Norman and the fun and frivolity of the post-game show. Shelby wins it on the road, 21-17.
I get people involved in saving the environment. That's why I volunteer.
When I teach computer skills, I help kids succeed in school. That's why I volunteer.
I helped raise awareness about the hazards of tobacco use. That's why I volunteer, to make a difference.
If you know middle or high school students who make a difference by doing volunteer work, have them ask their school principals about applying for a Prudential Spirit of Community Award. Or encourage them to call 1-888-450-9961.
Welcome back to Sid Bryson Stadium on Stadium Dedication Day. The Crest Chargers fall at home to the Shelby Golden Lions, and a very excited Chris Norman is standing by with our own Woody Kane. Woody?
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Well, Coach, a wild game as usual here. Tell us about that final drive. It looked like they had the momentum, and you just marched it down the field.
Well, I thought both sides played outstanding. I mean, they got after each other like they always do. We were fortunate that we were able to make some plays there toward the end, especially down the stretch on the last drive to keep the chains moving and eat up some clock. And, my hat's off to our offensive line and the way our defense rose to the occasion tonight.
You go up 21-10 at the half. What'd you tell your kids in the locker room?
Stay focused and get some water. It's hot. But just stay focused and keep plowing.
Congratulations on a big win, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Ryan, back to you.
Thank you very much, Woody, and we want to take a look at some final numbers and some of the exciting plays in this ball game. The stats are fairly even now. Keep in mind that Shelby gained 43 yards on that last drive, so they had actually been outgained on the ground by Crest coming into that final drive, but because of that last exciting drive, they pull ahead in the yardage. The time of possession was huge, and still those 2 turnovers become the keys to this ball game. Both teams racked up an immense amount of penalties, but it was fairly even, and that's why it ended up 21-17. Some great highlights from this ball game. We took a look earlier at some of the first half highlights, but this touchdown of 6 yards by Toms was the amazing play of the second half, and it got Crest within 4 after the extra point, but they had to stop Shelby, and when it came time to answer the bell, the defense couldn't do it for Crest. Shelby's offensive line had enough push to make sure they secure the win, and a fantastic finish to an outstanding ball game, and a capacity crowd got to see it here from Sid Bryson Stadium. Final score once again, Shelby 21, all those 21 points coming in the first half, and Crest 17. We had a lot of fun taking care of business here on this Friday night. Don't forget to check us out at Kannapolis next week as Robinson takes on Kannapolis, also Piedmont at Monroe. Check your guides for the air times of those games. For the entire crew that works so hard and does such a great job. For our crew up here on the tower, I'll call it, Steve Gant. For our statistician, Jim Lewis. And for Woody Kane, I'm Ryan Rose. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This has been a presentation of Time Warner Cable Sports.